All right, folks. I hope you guys' morning is going pretty well, better than mine. I woke up with my allergies on 10. You can probably hear it in my voice, but I woke up motivated. I don't know why. The algorithm ain't messing with me, so you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just keep pumping out this content. But rather than just yap about random topics, how about we actually talk about the entire wrestling business as a whole? I like to check my Patreon. I'm subscribed to a bunch of news outlets such as WrestleNomics and um, Sean Ross Sapp's was Fightful. I just know Sean. So the first thing that came to mind, the first thing that came on my screen, I should say, is the state of the wrestling business. You know, we like to talk about the ratings on this channel. We like to talk about, viewership and all this and that and what really matters. Now, I've kind of fell off on that because when we talk about AEW, it doesn't necessarily matter because we all know that that's not what they're worried about. As long as they get a 5-star match every week from Dave Meltzer, they'll be okay. I do think it's kind of necessary to see how well the wrestling business is doing because often with WWE specifically, that kind of tells you where the creative is going. That kind of tells you what's next and what you could expect next. Let's be honest. Jey Uso wasn't selling as much merch as he was. He most likely would not have won the Royal Rumble. So that's just a good example of how much the business actually matters. Just like the ticket sales, the merch sales, and all that. So let's break this down. Now, this is all courtesy of WrestleNomics. I have been given permission by Brendan Thurston at WrestleNomics to cover this stuff and show actual like screenshots and proof of what they're saying. This is just my way of like breaking it down for you all and kind of making sense of it. I've low-key spent my morning doing this, so if you could leave a like for your boy, and if you like more content like this, let me know in the comments, and let me know by again liking the video. Let's get this to 200 likes and hit that subscribe button, man. I fell out of that 11,000 range somehow. Let's get to let's get back there. So you probably hear my notes in the background, but we really should probably talk about the key demo. That's a big topic of discussion. I'm not sure why. I think that's because Chris Jericho said a quote before, and ever since then, he's just been getting his ass whooped on it. So if we're looking at the rankings of just the key demo and that, if you're unaware, the key demo is 18-year-olds to 49-year-olds. That is the key demo. I don't know how they got that, but I guess it kind of makes sense. I guess if you go to a wrestling show, you will mostly see 18 to 49-year-olds. So I guess that kind of makes sense. This ranks all shows, and I'm only doing NXT, SmackDown, and Collision and Dynamite, given the fact that Monday Night Raw is on Netflix, so we don't really necessarily know exactly how well they are doing, and Rampage is very irrelevant. So we're just going to go with those 4 shows, and I think that's a good state of the business type of deal. Like we all know that Raw is doing pretty well, but again, I think these 4 shows are a good measure for how well the wrestling business is doing as a whole. When we think about NXT, let's talk about NXT first. From NXT's ranking amongst primetime television from 8 to 11 p.m. in the key demo, which again is 18 to 49, currently ranks through the first quarter at spot 92. Now, to put that in perspective, last quarter they were spot 103. 2024 at this time, they were at 102. And even worse, at 2023 around this time, they were at spot 226. So they weren't even in the top 200, top 100. No, they were at spot 226. Now, I'm not sure what was going on with NXT at this time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Shawn Michaels was running it. I think even Triple H was running it at this time. So I don't know what was going on around this time, but damn, to be at 226, I looked it up. I looked up some match results. Like, this was Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes. This was, I don't get this. I don't get how bad NXT. If y'all were watching NXT at the beginning of 2023, let me know, why was the viewership so bad? Now, to put in perspective, for last quarter, if you don't know, that's where the 103 comes in, and now they're at spot 92 in terms of primetime television. Across the board, and this is, I'm letting you know this ahead of time, across the board, all wrestling shows dropped in quarter 4. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's the holidays, as it is October through December, but I don't know why wrestling fans stopped watching during the holidays. And that's not just for NXT, it's for SmackDown, it's for Monday Night Raw, it's for AEW, it's for Dynamite, it's for Collision. When you hear these huge drop-offs for last quarter and these huge jumps for the next quarter, just know that's because for some reason in quarter 4, just wrestling falls off. So, given SmackDown, currently SmackDown amongst the primetime television and key demo, SmackDown is currently number 13 in the top 100 most watched shows in a key demographic. In the last quarter, quarter 4, they were number 34. 2024 at this time, they were number 5. In 2023 at this time, they were number 14. Now, to put into perspective and to put into context, I should say, SmackDown, of course, moved to USA Network, which is a cable network. So you have to have cable to watch SmackDown at all. When before they were on Fox, if you just had like an antenna or whatever, however people watch basic TV nowadays, you could just go to number 9. I think that's where it was when I was growing up. You just go to number 9 and you can watch SmackDown. Now that they're on cable, they're shown to less people. Given how many people they're shown to, they're still doing pretty good, but it is a huge drop off, and that kind of brings me to question, like, why do they go to cable, given the fact that, you know, you're losing so much of an audience? I don't know. Maybe that upfront bag was pretty great, but I don't know, and I won't pretend to know. I'm barely a 100-air or 1,000-air. Like, I'm not about to try to get into these mind of these billionaires, but they lose a huge amount of their audience when they go to cable. Hence Monday Night Raw switching to Netflix, and yeah, I don't understand it. And hence NXT's improved numbers. Like, although they're relatively doing the same, they're still improving. So they've done pretty well for themselves. Now, switching over to AEW. Now, this is where it kind of gets nasty, of course. Let's start with Collision. Currently, Collision is number 172. Last quarter, this is insane, by the way. Last quarter, they actually did better. The quarter where all wrestling shows seemed to drop off was actually better than, that was actually their best quarter last year. Because at this time, last year in 2024, in quarter 1, Collision was spot 190. And at this time, of course, in 2023, where Collision first debuted, they were spot 54. Now, to be fair, this was CM Punk first coming back, and this is, of course, their debut. So, of course, they're going to have the best numbers here. And this wasn't necessarily quarter 1. They just missed quarter 1. Collision, I'm speaking of. I believe they debuted June 17th. 2023, so they missed quarter 1, so this was a quarter 2 number. But to put it in perspective how far they've dropped from number 54 all the way down to 172 currently. And speaking of Dynamite, currently Dynamite in a key demographic in primetime television is spot 100. Yes, they are in spot 100. Last quarter, again, they actually did better last quarter. They were in spot 96. Yuck. Last year at this time, they were at spot 54. Jesus. That is a spot. They've lost 46 spots. So for people to think that somehow WrestleMania season just ruins AEW television, nah, not really. I don't know what was going on in 2024 at this time. I know Samoa Joe was the champion, and I was excited for that, but not for that long. And 2023 at this point, they were at spot 82. So that lets you know how people really felt about MJF and just AEW at the time. It was pretty much that was, to be fair to MJF, that was like a change of the guard period, for lack of a better word, for AEW. This was right after Brawl Out. This was kind of like, I think Adam Page was out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Adam Cole was out. Like, to be fair to MJF, it was pretty much a rough time for AEW. The next charts I want to talk about here is the total averages through March 19th. So, I may be totally wrong on this. I did hit up Brandon Thurston. I haven't yet to receive a response. Maybe he's not awake yet. It's still the morning. So, maybe he'll get a response and I can fix this. But what I believe this chart is saying is through March 19th, 2025, comparing that to the total 2024, these are the total numbers. Now, for SmackDown last year in 2024, their average was 2,440,000 average viewers. This year, their total average is 1,560,000 average viewers. Now, again, I've already explained why that is a huge drop off. Switching from regular TV network like Fox to a cable network, you are going to lose a huge amount of your audience, and they actually break down what percentage of the audience they lost here. I might as well do it here. SmackDown actually lost 36% of their viewership so far this year. Now, again, I gotta drill this home. I can't stress enough how bad of a viewership drop you are going to suffer when you switch from broadcast network to cable. I don't get it. I still don't get the move. Again, that bag must have been crazy up front. It's like switching from Fox to YouTube Premium. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. So yeah, they lost 36% of their audience so far in 2024. To put things into perspective, even with being on Fox compared to 2023, SmackDown lost 12% of their audience. Now, I'm not sure why that is. I don't want to just put that on Cody Rhodes. But I just think people are tired of SmackDown. Like, if you're on Twitter like I am, people have been clowning the writing in SmackDown. I think they got Road Dogg Jesse James on there, and people weren't too happy. I think even AJ Styles tried to defend him, but people was like, hey, look at this shit, bro. This shit is bad. I personally don't watch SmackDown like that. I don't know. When it's Friday, I be coming home and taking a nap. I don't be watching that shit. I might watch a single segment, you know what I'm saying? I might just watch Cody Rhodes segment or Bianca Belair or whoever, but am I watching the entire SmackDown? No. But it's the same with any of these shows, for real, for real. I'm not watching 2 hours of Dynamite. I'm not watching 2 hours of Collision. I'm not watching 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. Like, I don't know. I love wrestling, but yeah. So I don't know. I haven't been watching SmackDown like that. Is it really that bad? Let me know in the comments. Switching over to NXT, their last year average was 654K. This year, so far through March 19th, is 762K. Now, WrestleNomics in this report did add a comment that their numbers have relatively stayed the same. I'm not sure exactly how. That looks like 108 plus viewers, if you ask me. But I guess the further in my notes, I'll get to understanding that. This shows the opposite of moving to broadcast to cable, because NXT moved from USA to the CW and they gained 100,000 average. Now, to be fair, this is just showing NXT in the road to WrestleMania, which I assume is huge for WWE. From what I can see in the rankings, they always do pretty good around this time, which makes sense. But I guess we'll see in Q2. But for now, they're experiencing a total of 108K more viewers. And to put that in percentages, last year they only lost 1% in viewers, but this year so far in overall viewers, they've gained 16% in 2025. So that is great. NXT is doing amazing, it seems like. So yeah, I don't understand why go to cable. Cable seems to be dying, but again, I don't understand. Switching over to AEW, start with Collision, and this is where it's going to get a little nasty here. I'm not sure why they're experiencing this huge of a drop. They were averaging 412,000 viewers. This year, they are only averaging 333,000 viewers for Collision. Yuck. I'm not sure why people watch this shit at all, but you know, hey, to each their own. To put that in percentages, last year they lost 21% in viewership. This year they've already lost 19% in viewership. That is 40% over 2 years. That is disgusting. But to be fair, they only had 6 months in 2023. And they only had like 2 months with Punk. So Collision was doomed from the start, to be fair. So switching to the big show, no pun intended, Dynamite for AEW. Last year, these numbers are disgusting. Last year, this is where I always tell y'all, they always was mid to like low 800,000, and it shows right here. Last year they were 817,000. That was their total average for 2024. This year, 614,000. Yuck, bro. Yuck. To put that in percentages, they lost 18% of their audience in 2024. So far, already in 2025, they've lost 25% of their audience. Now, this did not start this year. It was a gradual loss. I think there was some weeks where they were losing viewers. Like they had a few 500,000s in AEW. I wonder if they didn't have those 500,000s, where the numbers would be for their average in 2024. It would probably be in the higher 800,000s, because there were a lot of weeks where it was 850, 860, 870. But yeah, those 500,000s really really did a number on them. And if we're last year is it hasn't been a year yet since they released the all in footage, even though it seems like ages ago. That was their last big number. You know what I'm saying? They've just been on a steep decline in terms of numbers, and I don't see any recovering from that. Now, I should mention that they are I don't know, simulcasting, simu. They are also streaming on Max while they are streaming on TBS or TNT, wherever they have on cable. I don't know. I don't know if they include. I don't know if WrestleNomics included those Max numbers into this. Assuming they did, that is a loss of 203,000 in total viewership. That is ugly, bro. That is, you know how many people that is. That is disgusting, bro. That is disgusting. To put things into perspective with the cable and broadcasting thing, WrestleNomics added a note here from Nielsen. When you switch from a broadcast channel to a cable channel, you're cutting your audience by 27%. You're cutting your audience by a quarter plus in 2 cents. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't understand it, but hey, you know. And since AEW was at the beginning was so worried about the key demo, let's talk about the key demo. SmackDown last year lost 4% in the key demo compared to this year where they lost 29% in the key demo. Now, again, that is basic, the whole broadcast to cable situation. I'm not going to explain that again. NXT last year gained 5% in the key demo. This year, they lost 2%. Not sure what that's about, but okay. Collision this year lost 26%, and Collision this year, again, lost 26%. Dynamite last year lost 20%. This year so far, they've lost 39% in the key demo. It's getting spooky. It's getting scary. A little bit of hilarious over there in AEW. Now, if you just want to talk about, you know, the YouTube numbers, the internet numbers, the best performing videos of the last week, this kind of proves my point, and it might be nasty to use this to prove my point, but I don't care. I think that wrestling fans care more about the wrestlers than they do how good of wrestlers they are. Jey Uso is a huge, example of that. So when you think about the top 2 videos in WWE over the last week, the most watched video is the Cena promo. That got 4 million views. That's the full segment. So yeah, Cena is still that guy. No matter why it got the views, he's always going to get the views, as I will explain later when it comes to the merch, because oh boy. Now, the second most watched video in WWE over the last week is Cena's entrance, which has 960,000 views. That should probably hit a million by the time I'm done editing this video. On the AEW side, now this is weird because as much as we hate Jon Moxley, he has the top 2 most watched videos in AEW over the last week. And we don't hate Moxley, we just hate this Death Rider shit. Now, some of us do hate Moxley, but so number 1, of course, is Mox versus Mox versus Cope. That video has 824,000 views. And the second most watched video is when Moxley attacks Swerve mid promo. I believe that video has 400,000 views. And both of these, one is Moxley just doing the dumbest thing a wrestler has done in a very long time. And the second video is a promo and just kind of further in that storyline. I don't know who's winning that, but I'm tired of Swerve talking. I'm also tired of him getting his ass whipped. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really want him to win the world championship. I actually want Adam Page to, but that's a different video for a different day. So moving on to the merch sellers, and I think it's important to. In terms of WWE, I'm not sure if this really matters in AEW. We will see. I think we all know merch really matters to WWE and their metrics. Cody Crybabies, and I'm one of them. I think you kind of want to close your ears on this one because John Cena dominates 5 of the top 10 positions in terms of most merch sales in the last week. And, some of it is like the same shirts, just like, okay, here's a woman's version of the shirt. Here is a man's version. Here's a baby bib. You know what I'm saying? But and we all know merch sales really matter to WWE. So I think that John Cena may be winning. To put that into perspective, Jey Uso is number 2 with this ugly orange Yeet shirt. we all think that he's beating Gunther. So if merch really determines who WWE puts on the pedestal, yeah, Cody, count your days, my guy. You know, something else that stuck out to me, Roman barely cracked the top 10. There was no CM Punk, no Cody. Ludwig was in the top 4. I'm not sure what that was about, but that is pretty crazy to me. And Jacob Fatu was ahead of Roman this week. That's pretty crazy. Now, to be fair to the guys I've mentioned, for Roman, there really wasn't a new shirt as far as I'm aware, nor for Cody, nor for Punk, as far as I'm aware. Y'all could correct me in the comments. Now, moving over to AEW, a few things I saw. Kenny Omega has the highest selling shirt. Of course, he's like the king of AEW. And Adam Page, it holds the number 2 and the number 3 spot. Adam Copeland, he got 2 of the top 10 spots, so shout out to him. But it's some socks in the fucking Copeland little doll. If I see any of y'all wearing Adam Copeland socks, we fighting on scene. I'm giving you a wedgie. I'm just letting you know that now, bro. Like you wear your socks like John Cena wear his socks nowadays. But I think Adam Page has something, man. I'm very fond of Adam Page, and that's like sacrilegious given the fact that I am a CM Punk fan. So, you know, but I really like Adam Page. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this nonsense in the comments. If this was all gibberish and it was just Mike, shut the fuck up, or you just, you know, you enjoyed me stuttering or my sick voice, let me know in the comments, man. If you want to see more videos like this, get this video to 200 likes, and I'll do the same, breaking down the WrestleNomics thing next week. I appreciate you all. And again, this was all done by WrestleNomics. I cannot take credit for any of this. They put this on the platter for me, and I just got to, you know, take what I could from it and kind of make sense of it as much as I could. I don't have a statistics degree, so, you know, this is what the best I could do with my high school diploma. So I appreciate you all for clicking on this video. Again, if you want to see more videos like this, get this video to 200 likes. Hit that subscribe button, of course. I appreciate you all. Have a beautiful night. Have a beautiful day. It's midday. Whew. I'm going to blow my nose. Peace.